going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon!
With 2 seconds on the clock, he hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it! The Ducks have won!
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
Dante will dribble it out! The Ducks are Pac-12 tournament champions!
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Baseball game day, looking for a bounce back. We've got a lot of Oregon football interviews for you. Heard a bit from Dillon Gabriel yesterday. Going to hear the rest of the quarterback talking with the media today. Also, some news around Oregon athletics. A number of announcements coming today. And it's Husky Week. Ducks and Dogs Saturday at the Student Tennis Center, 2 o'clock. Nils Schyllander, the head coach for the Ducks, is going to join us. Already beat Washington earlier this year. Now they got him in the Pac-12 matchup here at the Student Tennis Center on Saturday. We'll get to that, talk a little bit of baseball. They're looking for a bounce back, and a number of other Oregon football post-practice interviews to get to in addition to Dillon Gabriel. Let's begin, though, today. Tony Stubblefield, Oregon men's basketball head coach Dana Altman has announced the hiring of Tony Stubblefield as an assistant coach. Now, that name might sound familiar because Tony Stubblefield was on staff previously. He spent 11 seasons on Coach Altman's staff and was most recently the head coach at DePaul. Welcome back, Coach Stubbs. Jaden Mays and Jada Ross have been named the Pac-12 Women's Track and Field Athlete of the Week, respectively, as announced by the conference office Tuesday afternoon. National Athlete of the Week already for Jada Ross after her record in the shot put, and then Jaden Mays swept the 100 and 200 meters in Berkeley over the weekend. The track and field athlete of the week for the Pac-12 conference. Beach volleyball, senior day win. Congratulations to the 4 seniors for Duck Beach volleyball. Senior day victory over Bushnell, a 5-0 sweep at Amazon Park yesterday. Congratulations to the 4 seniors being celebrated, and congratulations to the Ducks on a victory on Senior Day. Nothing feels better than that. Also, acrobatics and tumbling victorious in each of the 6 events of the regular season finale at Azusa Pacific last night. Congrats to the Ducks. More on that coming. And Duck football, some honors coming. 6 representatives on the 2024 NFF Hampshire Honor Society announced by the National Football Foundation. That's the NFF. Bo Nix, Casey Rogers, Steve Stevens IV were honored for the 2nd year in a row, joined by Bucky Irving, Camden Lewis, and Evan Williams. The society is comprised of college football players from all divisions of the NCAA, NAIA, and spring football who each maintained a cumulative GPA of 3.2 or better throughout their entire college career. Congratulations to those 6 Ducks. Baseball did drop one last night, 15-8 over Sac State, I should say. Game 2 tonight of that midweek series, 4:45 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. Let's hear from one of the quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel, meeting with the media for the first time yesterday. We heard a couple minutes of his conversation yesterday, all of it leading off the show today. Let's talk with Dillon Gabriel for the first time.
Simple question, but what was it about Oregon? Why you want to transfer to?
Yeah, I knew the opportunity. Talking with Coach Lanning and kind of what it all presented. It was really a no-brainer, and with everyone coming back and just kind of knowing what was coming in as well, it was just like I said, a no-brainer and a lot of fun. So.
What's the adjustment period been like for you? How are you liking Eugene so far?
It's been good. I loved Eugene. I love the area. It's closer to home, so I can't complain. And the adjustment period's been real. Being new to any place and kind of transferring. There's the ebbs and flows that you learn and grow through, but being where I'm at, in this my last year, it's been super refreshing to be able to have that.
And this group of guys, have you gotten to know a few of them well in these few weeks, and what's it been?
For sure, time has flown, but a lot of guys, just the time spent together, and Coach Lanning does a good job of being able to keep us all close to one another and kind of maximize the time that we have. And, I'd say we've gotten pretty close in the time that we've had.
How important was the history with Marcus and you being from Hawaii as well, the factor in your decision to come here?
It was huge. As someone you always look up to and, kind of as a quarterback from Hawaii, that was someone we always watched. And I love turning on the, TV and being able to watch him when I was younger. And now having, obviously, the relationship that we've had and just being able to text back and forth. That's something, as a little kid, I still smile and, don't ever take for granted. So I'd say in the decision process, it was just cool to kind of have that and being able to talk through it together. So
I know it's different programs, different coaches with him, and it's here now. But did you pick his brain at all about coming here, of just what his thoughts were?
Yeah, I think more on the lifestyle side. Our moms have connected, and they're just a great family. So been super helpful in terms of where to stay, what to do, and what to navigate food spots and stuff like that. So I think the little things like that help a ton.
How do you go about navigating the competition aspect of this with Dante specifically, but also kind of has to be a bit of a mentor to not just him, but to a room of young guys?
Yeah, I've been in a bunch of competitions. I've been in a bunch of rooms where it's either mentoring or learning, and kind of the combination of the two. And I kind of look at it as no matter your age, you can always learn, and no matter your age, you can always lead. So whatever I'm able to do that day, or whatever situation, I feel like we can only help each other. And in a competition, it's you versus you, and at the end of the day, best players will play.
How did you go about organizing the first get-together with the receivers in Southern California? I realize spring break, that's easy, but doing it where you're not even here a month, I mean, how quick do you get guys together, and why was that important to you?
It's important. One, it's continuity. You got to be able to create connection off the field to be able to have it on the field. And then, two, there's a lot of veterans in this, I'd say the offensive unit, but as a team. And they kind of knew, the time is not on our hands, and we got to, make the most of it. So we all kind of just dedicated, like, hey, let's go do it this weekend. Came together, whether it's the older guys, the younger guys, whoever could go, we made it happen. And it's got to be an emphasis for sure.
Wearing number 8 and being another quarterback here from Hawaii, do you feel like that puts any extra pressure on you, or kind of shoes to fill and expectations and stuff like that?
Yeah, I love it. It's something that you want, and that's why you come here. I think initially wearing the 8, I think I didn't want to, in the sense that, I have so much respect for Marcus and what he's done. And, that's a guy I always look up to, but also being able to wear it's even better. So super excited for that. And like I said, it's just being able to be my best, and for the guys, for my teammates, and ultimately go win games.
Speaking of shoes to fill, I mean, you're coming in replacing Bo Nix, who had a great career here. Have you talked to him at all, and kind of what's your mindset in trying to be the next guy here?
Yeah, I've filled a bunch of shoes. It's the next quarterback up. It's time. It's ebbs and flows. Next. After me, there'll be another one. So I'm just doing my part, and definitely I've had, talks with Bo, and him being able to, come through the practice during his off time, I guess, through the process. And then, just little conversations here and there. But, I think that's what's really cool about Oregon, is you have access to a bunch of guys who've done it and who are going to go do it in the NFL. And that's very cool.
Just trying to find.
Has your experience going to Oklahoma helped transferring here now, just already having one of those reacclimation periods under your belt?
Great question. Of course. I think, my first transfer, there's a lot of things that you kind of let slip through the cracks, and not knowing whether it's your daily routine and that switching up. I think I was able to know that, at times I let that fall through the cracks, but now just keeping that emphasis of daily routines, trying to find, my routine here, and then also, learning as fast as possible. I think how versatile and flexible you can be within offense and continuing to learn and grow. I think that's really refreshing in my last year of college, is, being able to continue to grow and learn.
You mentioned trying to find go-to food spots in Eugene with talking to Marcus and others. I mean, do you have ones now?
Yeah, I've learned some have changed and some have still stayed, but I'm a big, guy on food. I found this place. Marcus didn't give it to me, but I found this one on 5th Street. It's called Blended. I think it's new, though, so love acai bowls, so love fruits. I just found out I really love kiwi, so that's been refreshing. And, Yeah, just little things like that. I think more importantly, hotels and where to stay. You know, I heard it's pretty crazy kind of to find a place to stay here in the season.
Is that basically what you're going to be doing in the interim, is just staying in different hotels? Or I mean, what?
Oh, no, I've got a spot. I think it's more like
now?
When family comes up. Sorry, I didn't clarify, but
yeah.
when family comes up, because now they can come more, right? Being, you know, closer to Hawaii.
Yeah.
We can't have, you know, 15, 20 people in the house, so
right.
we're going to have to, you know, navigate that.
When you played for some of the best offenses in the country, what was it about this one that intrigued you? And I guess what are your thoughts on just Will Stein's offense and how you fit into it?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, his track record, you know, what coach has been able to do at a bunch of different spots, at a bunch of different levels as well. I also think, you know, proven concept, right? Like being here and seeing all the guys who've done what they've done, 2,000-yard plus receivers, quarterback who's thrown, you know, 4,000 plus yards with 40 plus touchdowns, and then also, you know, winning a bunch of games, you know, which is the main thing. And I think when you look at it as an offensive side of the ball, it's how do you continue to be ahead of the chains and score a bunch of points. So, and they've been able to do that. So that, for me, was very intriguing.
Will gave Bo a lot of autonomy, probably as much as any quarterback in college football last year. He said that you have that as well.
Mm-hmm.
How comfortable do you feel with that level of command? A 6-year guy, yes, but with that level of command of a new offense to where you could check in and out seemingly at will?
For sure, yeah. I think it's a lot of experience, you know, playing in a bunch of different atmospheres and games, and as well offenses. It's just, you know, different terminology. You know, I always joke around, but it's like you're in Japanese 5 the first time, and slowly you work back to, you know, hopefully being in Japanese 1. But as I continue to learn and grow, I think the checks are endless. You know, it's something that I'm not used to. I've done, and it's just doing it in a different way and learning our terminology.
Last week, Tez described you as a goofball. How do you kind of balance, you know, being one of the guys, but also being a leader in this locker room?
Yeah, I tell everyone, you know, I love to have a lot of fun off the field, but when I'm on the field, it's a flip that switches, you know, or switch that flips, right? And being able to be on the field, it's just different, you know. And my command, you know, I always tell them, hey, we'll have our fun off the field, but when we get on the field, you know, being able to have that command, that demanding kind of, you know, character is because of how close we are off the field. So I'll love them up, you know, off the field, and same will they. And, you know, when we get on the field, we get after it. So
what type of goofball is it? Are you a comedian? Are you practical jokes? What is it?
Yeah, it can be sarcastic. It can be fun. It can be straightforward. I like to keep people guessing. You know, I like to kind of catch people off guard and see who they really are. But that's been a lot of fun. You know, I enjoy that. I enjoy people and learning different, you know, people as well. You know, I think just connecting with everyone. That's why I say, like, in my last year of college, it's been so refreshing. Like, you know, imagine if someone was at a place for 6 years, you know, how stagnant or, you know, stale it can become. So it's been very refreshing.
What do you have planned for the first dime time retreat out here?
I love that you asked that. Well, it's in the talks. We already booked the Airbnb. It's happening in June. We'll probably take it to the coast, a little northwest of here, maybe an hour and a half. So I'll let you guys do your digging. But we'll have a party bus there. We'll have some throwing sessions. We'll have some good times, and we'll have some goodie bags. So that's a huge piece of everything we do.
Where does that all come from, Dylan? I mean, because people can say, oh, well, because of NIL, it makes it easier for quarterbacks to do that. But not every quarterback in the country is doing that.
For sure.
And reading stories about you in Oklahoma, it seemed like you were a mentor in the room to Jackson and other guys.
Yep.
Where does all this come from?
Just, I think, you know, at a young age, I had someone, Mackenzie Milton. You know, he was a guy at Mililani. He really almost came here, but he went to UCF with Scott Frost, and he was just a guy that mentored me at a young age at Mililani. And then when I went to UCF, you know, him going through his injury, he was that big brother that I hope everyone has, you know. And I think my experience with that is I've been around a lot of great people that helped me, and I've seen other people that, you know, can kind of push down on a younger person. And for me, it's important. You know, everyone's important, you know, because you don't know at what time someone may come in, you know, whether it's a young freshman that may play, you don't know. You know, the season kind of happens, and I just kind of have that approach of everyone matters. How do we, you know, get everyone involved, and how does everyone feel, you know, valued?
When you have to work with a whole new receiving corps, like the older guys, the proven guys, Tez, Trayshawn, Evan, certainly, that's kind of a given.
Yep.
What is the freshmen have to do to be like Nick Anderson was, where they don't have to rely on a true freshman or a redshirt freshman, but if they're going to, what did he do that these guys have to do?
Mental reps, extra time, obviously very talented, but I think the combination of knowing what you're doing, being really confident in what you're doing, I think will give you the best chance of playing, and I think they all know that is how you work, how you do what you do, coming out every single day and being the same person, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. And I just appreciate, I don't know, maybe when I was a freshman, I guess in my eyes, we were never like that, but just a freshman coming in, you can definitely tell how mature they are, how they work, and I appreciate that, once being one. So
Oklahoma and Oregon are both schools who've had strong quarterback histories in the last decade or so. How's coming here differed from when you first arrived at Oklahoma?
I would say being used to it. I've obviously played at places that had amazing quarterbacks, and that's exactly why I went there, and obviously coming here too. But, I've filled shoes, I've done my part, and then also I've competed. And it's something that, that's why I'm here, to compete, to play, to go have a chance to go win a natty. That's exactly why you play the game. So something I'm used to, something that I forever will be, and super grateful.
How do you go about developing chemistry with a new center, particularly one who's just doesn't have as much game experience, probably the least experienced center you've had in your college career?
Yep. Well, luckily, even though he's least experienced at, center, he's very experienced at guard. And then as well as the other guys, just having a bunch of reps. I think that helped him a ton, being able to play and at least get, that action. I think whenever you get in the game, it's a little different than practice. And I think that'll help him a ton whenever it comes to, helping our communication in terms of protections, run game, checks, the whole nine. So I love him to death, not just because it's 808, but, just being able to be with a guy who's just passionate and plays his heart out.
I was going to ask you, though, how much does that help with the Hawaii connection with a guy like Poncho or some of these other guys here?
Yeah, I think it's just that extra connection. I've always known of his family, Ope and then obviously Ponch, like people I've always grown up knowing from a distance and either played against or played with. But yeah, I just appreciate it. Being around a Hawaii guy, it makes you feel at home, kind of gives you that extra reminder. You got people around you, and it's something that I'm super blessed to have.
What stood out about the receiving core that you are working with, from the guys who worked with you in SoCal to the guys you're just working with in 6 practices here so far?
Talented. Talent's not going to be our limitation. It's, to us, it's always how can you, be one up in the mental game, know your job cold, continue to push and find answers, whether it's on the fly, pre-snap, communication. I think that's something you can never be too good at, knowing your job cold. So I think that'll be it, and that's for everyone. But as we continue to grow and learn together, it's been really good through the 6 days.
Knowing your job cold. That's going to be a great quote, I feel like, throughout the year. That's Dillon Gabriel, new Duck quarterback, meeting with the media for the first time. And when we come back, Tony Tuioti talking defensive line. He was after practice yesterday. We've got it for you next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Deer Spring Showers. These tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Deer Spring Showers. These tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Back at Nugget Cider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Baseball game day coming up tonight. Also, Duck softball in action. That's right. Duck softball's on the road. It's a 6 o'clock start in Phoenix against Grand Canyon. Knight Ureski's got the call on KWVA, also televised on ESPN+. Both Diamond Sports in action today. Women's golf also in action as we speak. We'll have updates on that coming up later on the show and maybe tomorrow on the show. Part 2 of our post-practice conversations for today. Tony Tuioti, he met with the media yesterday, about 9 minutes, talking defensive line with Tony Tuioti.
Well, you knew you were replacing a lot of really old and experienced guys, particularly at the nose position.
Yep.
Who were some of those guys getting looks at there, at the zero and the shade?
Yeah, losing the guys that we had, that was they took a lot of reps for us, but we got Jamari Caldwell, who we picked up in the portal. He's been looking really good for us this spring. Mari Washington has grown a lot. Really like what I'm seeing out of him, just being able to control, both A gaps, and he's so powerful and very strong. So just a rotation of those guys in there. Got Terrence Green, that's also been doing really good for us this spring, and you got Ben Roberts in the interior along with Keon Ware-Hudson. So we got quite a few guys that we can rotate to be able to shore up that inside interior play for us.
What do you see in Jamari that translates there? Because at Houston he didn't do a lot of two-gapping, and that's their decision. But ultimately, what do you see from him that makes you think he can do that? Granted his size, yes, but he hadn't done it at Houston.
Yeah, he's super powerful. He can anchor versus combo blocks. He's very twitchy, man, for his size. He can rush from the interior, but he's also got very strong hands. He's got really good block recognition awareness, and he's got playing experience. So he was asked to do that a lot. We go in and out of it, so it's just something that he can continue to add to his game. To be able to go to the next level, you got to be able to play a lot of different positions and be able to showcase that. And he's been able to do that pretty well for us this spring.
Last year was kind of an older room. This year's obviously a much younger room. How does that change your job? What do you have to change up for yourself as a coach when you're dealing with so many first and second year players?
Yeah, it changes up a lot. You got to go to square one and be able to teach these guys from the ground up. But that's what we do typically in spring ball. We always start over again and teach the basic fundamental technique. The young guys have been doing really, really good in terms of just wanting to be better. You got to have the want to. They're coming in and they're asking a lot of really good questions. Obviously, they're drinking out of a fire hose right now. These guys just graduated in December, and they're here in January. So guys like Aiden Breland and Day Sims, and you got Tion Gray, and you also got Big Co too as well, Jericho Johnson. I mean, these guys they're working really hard to try to close the gap. It's a big gap, but I'm pretty pleased in terms of their want to and wanting to learn, and they're doing a really good job leaning on the older guys like Keon Ware-Hudson, and also with Jordan Birch and Ben Roberts to be able to try to close the gap with that.
What did you like about Caldwell in the portal and just his fit within this defense?
Just his interior play. He was one of the top interior defensive linemen in the Big 12. In terms of getting sacks, I think he had like 7.5 sacks from the interior, and that's that's something that you definitely want to have. And he can play the run game really well too as well. So he had a combination of run and pass that I was really intrigued with, and we needed that, knowing that we were going to lose Taki and Popo on the inside. So then his experience. You know, he's got a game experience that we can lean on to as well. Different conference, but, you know, he's got the body type that we want, man, because he can really strike blocks and anchor for us.
Does he have the position versatility like Dorless did for you guys? Or
Yeah, not necessarily like Dorless, just different body types, but similar to Popo and Taki in terms of being able to be stout at the one technique or at the zero, but then be able to transition the pass to as well. And he's been able to show that this spring, which really excites me.
What's it been like for you to watch Tatum's development over the last year and just his continued growth in the college game?
Yeah, just proud of him, and just in terms of how much he's really been able to take advantage of the resources here. Coach Willie Love does a great job. Same thing with the nutrition. I mean, he's put on a good amount of weight, about at 255, 252 now, and it came in from high school, it was like 212. And these guys have done a really good job, and just seeing him year 2 now in the system, being able to understand the big picture of the defense and be able to execute it and be able to go out there and make some plays. Just proud of him, and just in terms of how he's been able to handle all that like a pro.
Right, and it's a unique situation to be able to see that type of development up front the way that you do. I mean, what is that like just personally for you? That's why he came to Oregon. He came to Oregon to compete with the best, to push himself, where he can put himself in a position to be able to help the team out. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Whether it's 1 rep or 10 reps or 20 reps, it's going to be the best rep you got. And that's what Coach Lanning demands out of everybody. That's what Coach Lupoy demands out of everybody, and he's been able to come through with that.
We saw Jordan Birch working with the edge guys this morning. Is that going to be a positional move for him at all, or is he just kind of switching back between the edge and the interior?
Yeah, that whole room we work together a lot, so similar to what Dorless did, he's going to be outside playing the 5 technique, play a 6, slide down inside, play a 3 technique too as well. So he's got position flex, and, we're going to use him like we did Dorless some, and we're going to try to put him in the best situation where he can go win one-on-ones and pass rush.
Just how high a ceiling do you see for him, Tony? Because like the Oregon State game, going up against the projected first-round tackle, he obviously more than held his own.
Yeah.
So how high a ceiling do you see for Jordan?
Really high. He's super athletic. I think just him being here 1 whole year, 2nd year in the system, he understands what he has to do. He understands the fundamental technique that goes along within the scheme of the defense, and he's been having a great spring. And I'm super excited to see what he's going to be able to do this season, but he's been doing a great job from a leadership standpoint, being more vocal, pushing guys in the room, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do at the end of the day. But he's been having a really good spring in the run game and in the pass game.
Terrence Green is a guy who has improved. Just where exactly has he improved, and where do you see him kind of sliding in this rotation?
Just a big body type. Right now with the rotation, like we don't know what that looks like. We're barely practiced 6 into spring, and these guys are trying to compete for reps, and that's what it is at the end of the day. But he's a big body. Obviously he's still working on pad level and being able to strike consistently. But once he cleans up those techniques, like we can use him definitely on the interior.
What does Keon mean to your room, Tony? Where 2 years ago he was one of the 3 guys who couldn't even take part in spring because of shoulder injuries. Yeah. And you brought in veteran guys, and it was a really old group. Yeah. He was willing to stay behind that. Now he's the 6th-year guy who's been here. What does he mean to your room?
He means a lot. Keon's the glue to the room. He's been here. He's persevered. He's gone through a lot in terms of the injury, but just to see him being able to work himself through where he can have 2 successful springs in a row, to work on his craft and get better. He does a great job just leading the guys. He's a quiet leader, leads by example, but love Keon, love what he represents, and love what he brings to our room each and every day. He brings his hard hat. He's a blue-collar guy, and so grateful to have him in our room.
What about identifying the 19 sacks you guys lose, players responsible for 19 sacks? And it wasn't all front 7 guys, not all your guys, but right, you knew you had to replace a lot of older guys. How do you go about identifying who's going to supply some of that and hopefully more?
Yeah, that comes along with, I think we got a lot of athletic guys. We got guys on the edges like, Winston and Mateo and Tatum and Blake Purchase, and, we got Birch and Keon, and, I think we have a group of guys that can all go and rush on 3rd down, so I'm excited about what we can do. Obviously there's some guys that played a lot, but we got some young guys that can really go get after the quarterback, and they've been able to show that this spring. So our goal is to beat that.
and so that's the standard that we have, and we got the guys that can go rush and go make it happen.
With such a young group in general, are there any freshmen who you have been particularly impressed by, or second-year guys who you think are going to be able to make a big jump so far in the spring?
Yeah, I'm really I've been really impressed with Michael Gardner. He's been having a really, really good spring, both in the run and the pass game. I think he's somebody, he continues to do what he does. He's going to be able to contribute a lot for us this year. Really excited about that. Blake Purchase has been growing a lot, just expanding his game from being just a third down pass rusher to being a all down type of player. Amari Washington is somebody that's grown a lot. Super powerful. He's probably one of the most powerful guys that I've seen just throughout my career, just in terms of being able to knock people back. But, once he can get his fundamental technique consistent, he's going to be tough to block.
That's Tony Tuioti, the Duck defensive line coach, talking spring football. We've heard from Dillon Gabriel, Tony Tuioti, a lot of news around Oregon athletics. When we come back, it's Husky Week. Ducks and Dogs at the Student Tennis Center at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Nils Schyllander, head coach, joins us next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's Husky Week as we welcome you back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint
Let me
Community
rephrase
Credit
that
Union.
for you. It's Puppy Week.
Oh, yes! This is why we talk with Nils Schyllander. Look, I'm so excited that I even knocked the chair over. Do you see this? Coach, it's
All
great
right.
to see you. Husky Week, Puppy Week. This is your favorite week of the year, right?
No, it's fun. It's always a good, close match that goes down to the wire, and we take pride in it, and so do they. So it's, these are the fun ones to play.
Yeah. All right, before we talk some keys to the matchup, you played them once before. We'll get into all that. Break it down for us. So where are you at right now? Where's your squad at heading into this weekend?
Just got off the practice court, and it was great today. I mean, the guys are in a great mood. Emerald Valley, Willamette Valley, whatever you want to call it, is showing his finest side today.
True.
Sun is shining, coming off a good win, and everybody in a good mood. So I think the squad's in a good place.
Yeah, you're coming off a win over USC. You're in the thick of conference action.
Yeah.
Break down the conference. How good's the pack this year?
It's always good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just top to bottom good. There's several Final Four contenders in this conference.
So I was thinking about this, and I wanted to ask you. A couple weeks ago on the show, I was discussing how it seems like there's an awful lot of 4-3s.
We've been in a lot.
You've been in so many 4-3s.
Not good for the old valve in here.
Yeah,
you know?
how's the hair? Is it grayer?
No, mine's good. Mine's good. I think I got that gene from my father.
That's good.
You know, but it feels like I have no hair left. It's every time we play, it comes down to a third set.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've been on the wrong end a couple of times, had match points for duels, and then, you know, as of late, we've been squeezing some out, and also tells me that we got a very young squad, and they're learning.
Yeah.
And they're getting better every week, and, you know, we've pulled a few out here.
You know, to that point, so sitting at 13-10, 2-3 in conference, 8-1 at home. I want to ask you about home court advantage in a second, but first, young team learning to win, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
That's a thing, isn't it?
It is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
It's 100% real. You got to be in that position because you're facing different pressure than you've ever had. Usually as a tennis player, you're an individual, and all of a sudden 3-all comes down to you. There's a different pressure. A lot of people, you know, all the eyes are on you, and you know you're not only playing yourself, you're playing for your teammates, for your coaches, your administrator, representing the university. It's a complete different dimension, and you can't learn unless you're in that position.
Right. I always talk about, and I hear coaches say this all the time, right? Like, pressure's a privilege, you know?
That
like,
it is.
To get to that point. So what are your coaching points after those close ones, right? Like, what do you talk about to your student athletes?
Well, if you lose one, it's very easy for them to take it on themselves, and I'm sorry I let you down, but that's not it. Just because you're the last one on doesn't mean it's on you, because there's a lot of matches that have been played, and you got to understand that first. Just because you're the last one on doesn't mean it's on you.
Good point.
And you know, if tough loss, obviously if playing the right way, playing hard, putting yourself in that position, you got to be proud to even be in that position.
Yeah.
And not really getting down if you lose one. You know, and also we talk a lot about having your $1 million play. You're up, you're serving for the match. Have something you're comfortable. Go with it. Visualize it before you get out there. And then, you know, pressure's on. You know what you're going to do, you know. And you don't win it, so be it. At least you gave yourself a fair shot.
Yeah, you mentioned, like, visualizing. I hear a lot of coaches talk about that. I feel like it's becoming more and more common in all sports. Yeah.
It's routines, right? Sports is routines. You got to be comfortable. You can't perform if you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
And can't worry about what if. Just, you know what you're going to do. Being able to run it through your mind, being able to run it through in practice, and just go to something that you're comfortable with.
Talking men's tennis, Nils Schyllander, head coach, with us. So one of the greatest social media posts this year, the W stands for a win. You already played Washington. Ducks took a picture as a team, the W from Washington's court. I know you always like to go up there and play and then also have them here depending on which one's the conference matchup. Beat them 4-2 earlier this season. Some of the takeaways the first time.
Could have gone the other way, too. I think our last 2 points were in the third set. Burton won 6-4 in the third. Len won 6-4 in the third. Zian was, I think, it won all in the third when it got called, so it very easily could have been flipped the other way. But talking about pressure, our guys did a great job of taking it to them with the match on the lineup there, and hopefully we can duplicate.
Now, this is a rivalry that you get up for. I know you believe in rivalries.
Yeah, that's what makes sports fun.
For fans that have not heard your history of why you're so into rivalries, can you summarize for us again? Because it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but, you know, I grew up in Europe following soccer.
This is it. Yeah.
And football, like we call it. My club, big club in Stockholm. There's 3 clubs in Stockholm, and when we play the other clubs, it's literally life or death.
Yeah.
But those games are more fun to go to. The players have more fun being part of them. The whole city of Stockholm it's crazy. I mean, you'll have 10,000 people marching to the game.
Right. Yeah.
You know, blowing flares and smoke, and it's just you're born into that, right? And we have a lot of Europeans on the team, so they have a lot of the same experience growing up. And, you know, naturally Washington is our rival, so it's just a matter of, you know, it's different.
Yeah.
However else, you can put it however you want, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of the common phrase of like, well, it's just another game, faceless opponent, but it does mean more, right?
It's different. Yeah, it is. But you also you got to try to go about it in your preparation the same way.
Yeah.
But, once you get the W, it tastes twice as good.
That was a great – did you see what he did just there? Get the W?
Mm-hmm.
I see where you're going with this, Coach.
It means twice as much.
Yeah. So talking about having a young team as well, like breaking down the roster a little bit, how valuable is it to have experienced the rivalry already for some of your younger players?
Oh, it's great, and it was up there too.
Right.
Now we're going to have the fans in our back instead, which is great, and we've been feeding up. We have had great turnouts this year. Big shout out to the tennis community in Eugene. They've been awesome. So it's definitely, you've played that match, you know what it's about. You hopefully can control your emotions even a little bit better this go around.
I touched on the 8-1 record at home. That home court advantage has been a big deal for your squad.
No, we're good at home. And the one loss we had was to UCLA, is one of the top programs in the country, and lost 4-3. There's another one of those.
Right.
But
I'm sorry I asked. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Coming down to a third and decisive set where we were actually up in it most part of the set. We're up a break twice, and credit to the UCLA guy. He played unreal down the stretch, but we put ourselves in a position to win that match, even with having three freshmen and a sophomore in our top six.
Right. Break down the roster for us a little bit. Familiarize fans. What do you want to see coming up against Washington this weekend?
Yeah, obviously take a good look at Quinn Vandekasteel because he's going to graduate soon. And, that match he played against UCLA, that was the top 150 pro level in the world. It was crazy level.
Wow.
He played Govind Nanda, who I think has been ranked like 200 in the world on the pro tour. Quinn won, but, soak it in while you can.
Yeah.
He's special.
Going to be a pro.
And then the other thing, he is. He's ready.
Yeah.
He's definitely ready, and it's a little different than playing college, different scoring system and stuff, and it's been a little bit hard for him to go back and forth between the two, and, it's total different rhythm to the game. Playing no ad versus regular scoring might not mean a lot to a lot of people, but it's different. Trust me on this one.
Good point.
Another thing, look for the energy from the team. These guys are fun to watch. They're very energetic. Whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, these guys, they bring it. Yeah. They're fun. They have good interaction with the crowd. They're very highly energized, and they're fun to watch.
Yeah. It's been awesome for me to see the engagement with the crowd too. Over the years, you and I have talked about this so often that you love that energy that
of course.
comes to
you
college
feed
tennis.
off of it. You feed off it. I mean, that's why college tennis is fun.
Yeah.
Much more fun than the pro tour, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I agree. So Saturday, 2 o'clock, Student Tennis Center. It's Ducks, it's Dogs. Keys to success. What do you want to see?
Just want to see us go out and play relaxed and not worry about the outcome as much. When we've been able to step back, relax, and just swing out on the ball, we've been good. We just cannot back off. We got to take it to them from the start, from the first point in doubles, and just carry it on for 3 hours, and hopefully we're going to come out on top.
Saturday, 2 o'clock, Student Tennis Center on campus.
Most likely it's going to be outside, right next to Hayward Field. The weather looks good, so come out, enjoy the sunshine, watch some duck tennis, and go crazy.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Yes.
Coach, it's what week again?
It's Puppy Week.
Nils Schyllander, head coach of Oregon Men's Tennis. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
When we come back, it's game day for Oregon baseball. A few other things to cover. Spring football practice continues. Ducks and Dogs Saturday at the Student Tennis Center at 2 o'clock. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Spring Showers, these tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Spring Showers, these tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays? The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Let's hear from Trayshawn Holden. Back to some Oregon football. It is Husky week, though, for Oregon men's tennis. Love that. Trayshawn Holden earlier this week, he talked with the media after practice, one of the big-time weapons for the guy you heard from earlier, Dillon Gabriel. Trayshawn Holden meeting with the media, talking spring ball.
Where do you think you made the biggest strides this offseason coming back for another year here?
Definitely was just me, getting to my top speed faster. So that was probably my main focus, like in the off season. So I feel like that definitely went up for sure.
How do you work on that?
We got a new speed coach, Coach Bolt, and I told him just to stay on me every day, like during the winter workouts, and all my numbers just kept going up each week. So just shout out to them boys for real. Yep.
It seems like this position group's pretty loaded. How do you just describe the competition, the talent you guys have at your group?
No, our receiver room definitely loaded for sure. We definitely have the best receiver room in the country. It's just like all it matters is going out there competing every day, and then with me, it's just I'm gonna come out there and be the same every day, give it all I got, and do what I got to do. But other than that, our whole room is definitely a family. So it's like we ain't even letting nobody get into it about nothing, about anything. So we definitely locked in though.
Junior said that Evan made a big play to end today. What's it been like getting to know him, kind of seeing him work after? Obviously, you knew him before he came here, but.
Yep. Nah, Evan, he come to work every day. Of course, he's still learning the plays, but that's me when I was here last year in spring. But nah, he definitely a ball player. Like definitely love watching him work. We gonna be a good little. We're gonna be real good. That's all I gotta say.
What does he bring to this room that maybe wasn't here before?
Probably just like a big play at any moment from him. It's just like you never know when something about to happen like that play. Like, shoot, it's just I feel like he a big play waiting to happen. So with him, yeah.
What's this opportunity going to be like for you this season? Troy's gone, so there's a lot of room for you guys to have production. What's just the opportunity for you personally going to be like?
Nah, me, like how I operate is whenever I get the opportunity, I'm gonna make the most of it. So Troy being gone, it's just the next person. I feel like I'm that next person. So I just got to show everybody what I can do. Yep.
How do you evaluate your season last fall?
Last year, I feel like, of course, we didn't get to where we wanted to be personally. But personally for me, I feel like just the little things that I was lacking last year, just finishing blocks, stuff like that. But other than that, like I feel like when the ball's in my hands, I can do some stuff with it. So
working mainly at the X.
Yes, sir. Every position.
Sure.
Yeah, but mostly X.
What goals do you have, Trayshawn, in terms of championship, those sorts of things, but individual goals for where a year from now, when you're preparing for the draft, that you're confident you'll be in an advantageous position? What are the things you want to work
for
on?
sure. Like my personal goals is just continue to be the best I can be, and obviously show the whole world like what I know I am. Feel me? So it's just like each week, each day, just coming out, going to work. So like my goal is just show the world who I am.
Junior said that Kyler's someone who's really impressed him this offseason and last year too, both learning the playbook and in the weight room. You've seen the same type of thing?
No, definitely. Kyler growing, like, mentally, for sure. That was probably just the biggest thing for him last year. But, like, now, like, you can just see it in the meeting rooms. Like, before, Kyler was shut down. Somebody say something to him. But now it's like he's more eager to listen. So it's like you can just definitely see him growing. Yep.
What has your connection kind of been like with both Dillon and Dante kind of growing throughout the spring to this point?
Nah, both of them, those are like both of my guys. Because even when I was coming in to Oregon last year, you know, we had Dillon as a commit, and we was just talking, chopping it up, and we've been cool ever since. And then Dillon was trying to get me out of the portal to go to Oklahoma, so we've been cool about 2-3 years now. So it's just like it's just all good vibes in the room for sure. Yep.
It's been like working with him between spring break and back in January, just to go down to SoCal and get more work with him.
Always nice to go to California, you know, that good weather. But nah, it was just fun. Like, you know, I ain't never had nothing like that for real. So it was just stuff to do like that. You go with a couple receivers and get some work in. Like, that was definitely a good, cool little trip. Yep.
Any of the freshmen stand out from that?
Let me see. I think all of them are pretty nice. They just got, you know, they young, so it's like you got to get their mental right. But all of them, I feel like once they get comfortable, and cause at the end of the day, we just playing football. We've been doing this since Little League, so it's just like once they get comfortable, you're gonna see a bigger difference. But they definitely got some game for sure.
The mental aspect, the hardest jump to make from high school to
Heck yeah. Not because Coach June had asked us a question like if we could do anything different. Like I said, the way I used to think, like back in the day, like when I was a freshman, like I would do so much things totally different. Like, so it's just the mental for sure plays a big role.
Have you always been wanting to wear number 1, or walk us through the process there?
Number 1. So my godbrother had passed away going into my junior year at Alabama, and he was number 1. So coming here, I was wanting number 1, but you know Chris is still here. But now, like, you feel me, I got it, so I got to, you know, show out for little bro. Yeah.
Kind of dedicating that to him.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Last question. I was going to ask you about Jurion. What have you seen from him?
Jurion? Nah, yeah, Jude, that's my boy. Like, you know, I kind of see him, like, he trying to take up a little after me because he be asking me questions and stuff. So, like, Jurion, like, kind of like Kyler, he growing a lot. He's starting to understand the playbook, and so he made a big play today. So it's like, Jurion, in the room, you know, I'm always go with me, but like he got some hands. I would say he got him for sure. So Jurion gonna keep getting better for sure. Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
That's Trayshawn Holden talking with the media. I love his energy, don't you? Like, he's just fun to listen to, fun to watch play wide receiver. Also, that's for sure. When we come back, some news and notes around Oregon athletics. It's baseball game day. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Tony Stubblefield back with Dana Altman's crew. He's back as an assistant coach. Welcome back to Coach Stubbs. Coach Altman said, quote, "We are excited to have Tony back in Eugene. He's an excellent coach who will make an immediate impact on our team." Stubblefield most recently spent the last 3 years as the head coach at DePaul after spending the previous 11 seasons here at Oregon. Ducks reached the 7 NCAA tournaments in his tenure that the Ducks were awful successful in, including 5 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite 8s, a Final Four with Stubblefield on staff. Prior to joining the staff in 2010, then becoming the head coach at DePaul, he was the recruiting coordinator for the University of Cincinnati for 6 seasons. And as an assistant coach at New Mexico State. Stubblefield got into coaching at his alma mater, Omaha. Welcome back, Tony Stubblefield. It was awesome to see him. He was actually in attendance for the NCAA tournament games. Got a chance to catch up with him just briefly. Congratulations, Coach Stubb. Welcome back to the University of Oregon. Jada Mays and Jada Ross have been named the Pac-12 Women's Track and Field Athletes of the Week. That's after Ross was already the National Athlete of the Week, a 2-time Pac-12 Field Athlete of the Week now for the Medford, Oregon native. That tremendous 19.71 throw in the shot put, and then also recorded a lifetime best in the discus. Shot put, record, discus, lifetime best. Yeah. And then Mays swept the 100 and 200 meters in Berkeley. Meet record times, by the way. Currently tied for the number 4 time in the country in the 200. The UO women check in at number 6 in Tuesday's release of the National Ratings Index. Outdoor track and field season is here, folks. Senior day for beach volleyball went well. A sweep for the Ducks at Amazon Park. Pre-match ceremony celebrating the 4 seniors and also recognized Bushnell's 5 seniors before the match. Ducks jumped out to a 2-0 lead, ultimately got the sweep. And Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling, dominant, 270.420 to 266.370. A win at Azusa Pacific on Tuesday night. Ducks took control early, and they were excellent. Also, shout out again to the 6 Ducks: Bo Nix, Casey Rogers, Steve Stevens IV, Bucky Irvin, Camden Lewis, Evan Williams, inducted into the Honor Society of the National Football Foundation student athletes.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheSkin.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low